Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to a great night of championship boxing live on BT Sport. And we welcome those of you watching on ESPN Plus from the iconic Church House in Westminster. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, and Unibet. We get things started with 8 rounds scheduled, and it is an international cruiserweight contest. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, steward in charge, Charles Giles, timekeeper, Bob Edgeworth. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, and scoring this contest will be Victor Laughlin. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner, he's wearing Blackwood gold and weighed in at 14 stone, 4 pounds. Coming to us from Dubai, United Arab Emirates, by way of his native country of Iran, he brings a professional record consisting of 16 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 draw, with all 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Muhammad Ali, the Stallion Bayat. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, he's wearing Blackwood gold and weighed in at 14 stone, 5 pounds. Hailing from Manchester, England, he has a professional record of 16 wins, just 1 defeat, with 8 of his 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Jack Massey.
Okay, gents, you know the rules. Remember, obey my commands at all time, defend yourselves at all time. God bless. Touch the gloves.
Jack Massey, a big lad, recently moved from Chapel and Lathrith in Derbyshire to Mottram. Muhammad Ali Bayat fights out of Dubai and is a big puncher. All his 16 wins by stoppage. Massey, physically the bigger man, 6'4", reach advantage as well. Bayat once made a film about chess, called it Check. And if this fight goes 3 rounds, it'll have lasted longer than the film.
Yeah, big puncher, Bayat. Started his career very well indeed. Doesn't hang around. That's why Massey very sensibly just trying to keep him on the end of that jab, having a look at him, keeping his distance, because Bayat obviously gets big shots home, doesn't he? And there was an example of that.
Managed and promoted by the Scottish promoter Sam Kinnock, Bayat. And he said that it's time for Mo to step up. Need to find out what he can really do. Fight a better class of opponent. Well, Jack Massey, good fighter himself. Lost on points last time out. His only professional defeat. British title fight. And he'll be looking to come back here and make something of a statement. He actually started as an ice hockey player, a junior with the Sheffield Steelers, and went along to a boxing gym to try and improve his fitness, and found that he liked it more than ice hockey, although he did admit to me that he does quite like the violent side of that sport. Raised eyebrow from Richie.
Yeah, it's a rough game, that ice hockey. Yeah, I think I'd sooner box, to be honest, but there you go. But Bayat, the way he's boxing here, John, he's looking for the big shot, just stalking Massey. And I've looked at his record. A lot of the opponents we don't know too much about. He's boxed in Thailand, Dubai, Hungary, Germany, Spain. He's been all over the place, this fella. Doesn't mind, and this is his 2nd contest in the UK, so he doesn't mind where he boxes, Bayat. But he obviously has got big shots there. He's knocked out a lot of opponents.
He's a powerful fella, but he's not exactly fleet of foot, you'd suspect, from the early stages of this opening round. Massey tonight in his 18th professional fight. Trained by Robert Rimmer, Bobby's lad. Bobby was a well-known fight figure up in the Northwest for many a year, still is.
Yeah, and good trainer, very good trainer indeed. But this is a scouting mission now for both boxers here. Massey just having a look at his opponent on the end of that jab. And Bayat, he's just assessing things here and how he can close that gap down, and certainly Massey doesn't want to be standing in front of him like that. This guy, yeah, big puncher.
You can see he really loads up, doesn't he?
Yeah,
loads up.
He's got to get close, you see. He's a mid-range puncher, and that's where he generates his power.
Well, interesting opening round.
Up in it.
Yeah, he's got told he's going to come up with big right hands and big left hooks, so you've got to keep them hands nice and tight, yeah, in and out of range, okay? Your feet have got to start, listen, once you start running feet and you land anything big, yeah, they become really effective, yeah? Bring him over his front foot, draw his lead and then make him pay. Yeah. You've got to stay busy, yeah? You don't have to go big all the time, yeah? Control the weight behind that shot, okay? Good lad. Yeah? Good. Shield there, oh, he's turning it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Same again now, pick up the pace.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Opening round then.
Second
Jack
round.
Massey, did he do enough for you,
Two.
Richie?
I think I'd just edge it to Massey, to be quite honest, just on work rate. Bayat, obviously, you know, he's the bigger puncher and he's looking for them single shots, but I think he probably just got outworked a little bit. Not a lot in the round, but Massey just edged it. You can see what Bayat's trying to do here, John. The way he's walking forward, he wants Massey to throw a jab, and if it's slow, then he'll react with a fast counter. That's what he's looking for. It's all part. That's like a trap that he's setting as he's walking forward. He wants him to throw the jab, and then he'll spring into action with a counter. And Massey, you know, he's boxing sensible on his back foot here, and doesn't want to be delivering anything slow, because that's what Bayat will. That's what he'll want.
What's talk of Massey fighting Jordan Thompson, another undefeated cruiserweight prospect from up in the Northwest. But that fight didn't come off, at least for now.
Bayat coming forward, looking for the shots, but he's going to have a change of tempo here. His feet are a little bit too slow, so Massey, he's boxing sensible on that back foot. He's not overcommitting coming forward, and that's probably frustrating Bayat a little bit, and he'll have to quicken things up here.
Well, when Bayat gets an opportunity, if he's going to continue with this sort of tactic, my goodness, he's going to have to make the most of it.
See Bayat there, just held his feet a little bit too long there, got caught with a good right hand himself. He's dangerous, definitely, because at mid-range you can see him throwing hooks, and that right hand over the top, it's a bent arm shot, and that's where he generates that real power. I think the Massey camp, they've done their homework on this fella. And that's why Massey's on the back foot.
Smear of blood coming from the top of the head of Bayat by the looks of it. I don't think it's anything too serious, but it doesn't look too pleasant. So second round over and Massey going well.
Read it a couple of times, and you step to your right, then you caught him. He can't catch you when you step to your right. Okay, that's what you've got to look for. can need a little bit more work from you. Okay. Right. So a little bit more work. When you get in, don't hesitate to let your hands go. Good. Good work.
Welcome back to Church House, our first fight of the night on this tremendous night of boxing here for you in this historic venue. And here maybe is where the cut came, clash of heads.
Yeah, a little clash of heads there on the ropes as Bayat is coming forward.
Round 3.
It's up on the top of his head. It's not going to have any impact on the course of the fight. Bayat's got problems though, Richie. He's not really finding a way to get any sort of sustained pressure on Massey.
His feet are too slow at the moment. He's got to be a bit quicker with his feet, put more pressure on and be a little bit more threatening, and that will then make Massey punch, because what he's looking for, he's looking for Massey to throw the left hand, and then he's trying to whip a right hand over the top. But you've got to, Massey's boxing clever on the back foot, so you've got to make him throw that punch, so you've got to be more threatening on that front foot. That's what Bayat's got to do. He's got to up the tempo here and make Massey punch.
Well, if he can box 8 rounds like this, Jack Massey, I suspect he'll be only too happy to do so. Keep it at range, use those long levers, spear Bayat with the left hand, with that long jab, and just win the fight at distance.
Also, what Massey can do, John, is just bring his right uppercut into play. The way Bayat's coming forward, occasionally he does commit with his right hand and he leans over his front foot. So you've just got to measure the distance with the jab and then throw the right uppercut as he's coming forward.
Hasn't fought in almost a year, Jack Massey. Frustrating time for so many in boxing. That's good. Doubling up on the jab. There's another example, illustration of the power that Bayat can generate. Really thudded those 2 body shots in, but it's only 2.
Yeah, he has got decent power, and Massey has got to probably stay centre of the ring and boxing the ring space. Bayat, if he pushes you back onto the ropes, and that restricts your movement, and then he can plan his attacks and get some big shots home. But while in the centre of the ring, he's going to have problems against a well-schooled Massey.
A nice body shot from Massey, a little bit more variety, right hand as well. Bayat just trying to walk him down, trying to get into range to land the power shots, but they're not coming. Does actually have a defeat on his record, Bayat. He managed to, he's got all those huge, big punching wins, but he lost 1 in 25 seconds. But that's comfortably another round for Jack Massey. What a wonderful aerial shot of Westminster. Westminster Abbey there. We're just on the other side of the road in Church House, a historic hall where during Second World War, Parliament was relocated after the Houses of Parliament were bombed. And Winston Churchill gave famous speeches right here. Well, Jack Massey, he's making it his fight at the moment, Richie, the taller fighter in the black striped shorts on the far side of the ring now.
Yes, he is, but at the same time, John, it's a contest where you've got to stay focused for every second of every round, because this fella, Bayat, is a big puncher. He can deliver big shots over the top with that right hand. He's also looking for the left hook. You know, he's had, what, 16 knockouts. He's used to knocking people out. But he's not getting his own way at the moment, and Massey's boxing very sensibly. But like I said, you've got to box well behind that jab, keep your distance and stay alert all the time.
Picked up the first 3 rounds, though. It's an 8-rounder, this one, in the cruiserweight division. Massey showing decent hand speed and accuracy and the superior footwork. That's better, though, now from Bayat. Got into range and landed a couple of clubbing body shots.
Yeah, and that was because Massey, again, just took his eye off the ball there and just drifted back onto the ropes. So he's got to stay in the centre of the ring as Jack Massey. But you know, on the flip side, Bayat then just manoeuvred him into a good position there and landed a couple of good shots downstairs. And that's what will be in his head, to push his opponent back to the ropes or the corners.
So much the superior man in the jabbing department, Jack Massey. See the concentration there on his face, and a little bit of a smear of blood coming from the nose now of Bayat. He's cut around the top of the head, and I think he might be cut as well, or grazed around the left eyebrow, but there's a lot of blood around his nose now.
That's coming from those jabs, and the right hand like that from Massey. That was a good shot, but those crisp, sharp jabs of Jack Massey have done the damage there. And like I say, it's very important that that shot is crisp and sharp and just keeps Bayat off balance, really, because look, he's still dangerous. There's a right hand over the top there from Bayat.
Blood on the arm of Massey. It's coming from the face of Bayat. Massey not cut, despite the fact there's smears of blood around the place. Well, he's boxed nicely again this round, Richie. Keeping his composure. And Bayat, well, he's not bust up yet, but he's certainly not quite as pristine condition as when the fight began.
I thought it was a closer round, but I still thought Massey won it.
A lot of blood there, as you see, and here's some of the action from that fourth.
Yeah, just a little lapse in concentration from Massey there. He just drifted back onto the ropes, and Bayat then landed a couple of good body shots. That's where you don't need to be when you're boxing someone as powerful as Bayat. But generally, I thought Massey again got through the round okay. This fella's dangerous, he really is.
A little bit crude, isn't he? But he's got power on his side. Noel Callan in his corner. Robert Rimmer with the advice for Jack Massey.
Seconds out. Round 5.
Into the second half of the fight. And it's going, well, for the most part, according to plan for the tall Jack Massey. Massey hoping that he might be heading for an opportunity for the British title in the not too far distant future. The board recently ordered a match-up between Chris Billam-Smith and Dayan Juma for the vacant belt. Massey might well be... Oh, that's a good shot. Nice right hand. And Bayat, not surprisingly, blinked a little bit uncomfortably as that landed.
There's a shot from Bayat, but it was well blocked from Massey. Massey boxing well behind his jab in this round. And again, the pace is suiting him. Bayat again slowed those feet down, and that seems to suit Jack Massey. You can see the attacks coming. Bayat isn't so threatening. Look, a good example there. Look, using his height and reach, boxing sensible, and not allowing Bayat in at mid-range. It was good boxing there from Massey.
It's already getting to the stage of the fight where Bayat's needing big rounds to get himself back in. Our main event tonight, of course, the one that we're all looking forward to. Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce, the big heavyweight confrontation of the undefeated fighters. I think within the boxing sport, it's been one of the most talked about fights that I can remember for a fair time.
I'd agree, John. It's got a lot of people split down the middle, hasn't it? For example, just up at GB where I work in the week, then a lot of the lads and the girls up there, a lot of them going for Dubois, but there's a lot going for Joyce also. So they recognise the strengths in both boxers, and yeah, it's got everyone talking.
A little bit clumsy there, Bayat, and stifled his own work as he tried to fire in that right hand over the top, and it was a smart little counter from Jack Massey. 5 rounds gone. And how did you score that one, Richie?
Well, I'd go Massey again. You know, some of these rounds are a little bit closer, and Bayat is having a little bit of success here and there, but that wasn't too bad from him. But overall, the round in general, I think Massey's come through again. That was a lovely double jab right hand from Bayat there. Better work from him. But you don't win the round on just one move, John. He's not doing enough for me.
No, he's going to have to... I think he's going to have to put Massey on the floor if he's going to win this one. At least. Have to have some big rounds in his favour, and he's not come yet. There was a meeting of the Church Synod at this very hall earlier this week. Talk about a change of pace. Back here again next week for a terrific matchup between Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's a real cracking contest, that is. Yarde is excellent, but also Lyndon Arthur, very underrated. Good fighter, Lyndon Arthur. So yeah, it's a good contest, a close one to call again.
Starting to narrow the gap a little bit more effectively, Bayat. He's finding his range more than he did in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
I think what's helping him there, John, also is Massey just occasionally just slows his feet down also. He can drift back onto the ropes just occasionally, and that just allows Bayat then to get a little bit closer. And he's just taking a bit more of a gamble there, Massey, just holding the feet. He's obviously gaining in confidence. He knows he's well up in this contest, but this guy's dangerous, and you've got to, you know, it's a test of your mental strength as well as your physical against an opponent like this.
Yeah, the record suggests with those 16 knockout wins, a 100% knockout ratio, albeit against hardly stellar opposition, but it suggests power, and he's shown that. Sure, Massey will be only too aware that Bayat at some point in the next couple of rounds is going to be really going for broke.
Just little opportunities for Bayat there. Just Massey boxing well at range, but just allowed him in on the inside there. And there's that right hand over the top that misses, but
Not by much.
no.
Whistled past his nose. Jack Massey's manager, Kevin Marie, said that he really wanted to make a statement tonight. Well, perhaps just a little bit short of that at the moment, and Bayat is just growing in confidence, you sense.
Yeah, he's having his best round here, Bayat. A couple of times Massey's just drifted onto the ropes and Bayat's just took up the chance, and again he goes for it there.
Well, that was by a distance Bayat's best round of the fight so far, and maybe did enough to take it.
Yeah, took it for me, John. Good round for this man.
That was much better
Massey
work.
just slowed those feet down, but they'll be pleased in that corner in terms of it's going to give him confidence that round.
Completely outbox him.
Landed a couple of good
outwork
shots.
him or knock him the fuck out. Okay? That's how you're going to win this fight now. Deep breath. 2 rounds worth. You've got 2 rounds in you.
Sorry.
Right? He is fired. That's why he's allowing you to push him. Okay? Believe in yourself. We believe that you can do this, okay? When you attack, he's not going to throw back. Okay? He tucks up. He's well aware of your power.
Right, do it. Come on. Now fucking go on next to me, yeah? Come on. Come on now.
Second round. Round
That was
7.
interesting advice coming from Richard Farnan for Bayat in that corner, and suggesting that when he's under pressure all Massey does is tuck up, and that he might be there for Bayat to take. He's got to make him believe that.
Yes, and he's got to find the openings to land that big shot, John. That's why I'm sure in the past against other opponents he probably catches them as they're throwing the punch at the same time, so he counters and counter-attacks, beats them to the punch, and that's what he's probably got to try and do here. When Massey's tucking up, it's going to be harder to pierce that guard. Lovely jabs there from Massey, but Bayat again, he's got to put the pressure on, he's got to make Massey throw, and then that might just give him an opportunity, an opening to land a big punch.
Rich has got Jack Massey, tall man on the far side of the ring. He's got him with a significant points advantage at this stage, with just 1 round to go after this. Fight's been fought in a decent spirit. Victor Loughran has not had a lot to do. The Scottish ref. Massey back up on his toes and using his reach and mobility. That's good.
That's much better from Massey. Just before that, I thought Bayat was just sensing that Massey was slowing down a little bit. He wasn't throwing so many jabs. Crucial stage in the contest now. Massey's got to see this one out, and that's better from him. But Bayat, he needs the knockout.
Massey planted himself and landed a right hand there to the body, but had to take one back.
You'll find, John, that unless it's just a slow punch where Bayat's going to come back with a fast counter, Massey, when he's boxing from the centre of the ring, he's really in control of this contest. It's when he drifts back onto the ropes where he's a little bit more vulnerable. So his movement patterns, you've got to move around your opponent, high guard as you're moving around, and hold that centre.
It's good from Massey. Bayat had a good sixth, but he's not been able to sustain that improvement, particularly. He's coming forward bravely in the closing stages of this 7th, but finding it difficult to find the clean shots. There again, whizzing through thin air. And Massey covering up, and most of those punches taken on arms and gloves. Well, you gave Bayat 6. Massey stopped the tide there. Was it a better round for Massey?
Yeah, I thought it was a better round for Massey. I thought Bayat, towards the end of the round, sensed that he had to up the pace a little bit. He was getting picked off.
That's right, you got to put your shots together now.
And I
Nothing's
thought Massey won that.
Sorry, yeah? Come here. Don't go back, yeah? Listen, don't go back to the ropes. Right? When you put them together, that's much better. Yeah. Right? Set your feet and go, then move. Yeah. Right? Listen, you're giving him too much time. You're allowing him to set his time.
I know, I'm making a miss, but I'm not coming back whenever.
Yeah, but listen, you've got to be busier. You've got to be busier. I told you, you don't have to put everything behind every single shot. Okay? Okay? Thank you. Keep with it, yeah?
Don't take any shots.
My body shots.
Yeah, it's different to get the body shots.
I can't get them.
Stay under his, fire straight away. When he throws that jab, dip where the right hand sweet spot.
Second round, 8th and last round.
Well, the way we've seen this one, Jack Massey has this one in the bag unless he gets careless and somehow allows Bayat to put him on the canvas and maybe win by stoppage. Massey must have, you would think, a sizable points advantage.
I think so, John. I think he's well ahead in this contest. But it's an exciting contest because it's one of those fights where the opponent's always in it. Bayat can produce, we know, a knockout punch. He's got 16 knockouts on his record. He's dangerous and he's looking for big shots, but they're being outworked. That was better from Massey. And you heard his corner there, Massey's corner, saying, don't go back onto the ropes, stay off the ropes. So they recognise the problem that Massey's got. But overall, he's boxed well here as Massey because he's in against a dangerous opponent.
A little more than 2 minutes away from another victory to add to his pro record. Finding the target with some of those body shots now, Bayat, but he looks a bit weary himself.
Yeah, and obviously there's a sense of urgency from Bayat now, but he should have been showing this probably 3 or 4 rounds ago. That was that right uppercut, left hook on the inside.
And he's cut, Jack Massey. A cut over the right eye. Good job that didn't happen earlier in the fight. Not sure if that was caused by a clash of heads or a punch.
Well, there was just a clash of heads there. That's why they actually touched gloves. They both recognised that, or acknowledged rather, that they caught heads. But again, Bayat having a little bit more success. Massey drifting back onto the ropes. He's tired, Massey is.
Bayat having a better last round. He needs, though, to find more big shots in the remaining 60 or 70 seconds. Bayat was hoping this was the night he was going to have a real breakthrough performance, but it's not happened. And assuming the referee is seeing it similarly to us, it would seem that Jack Massey is heading for victory.
Bayat there, that right hand he threw, he launched it from a little bit too far out. But only one intention with that shot. But Massey again boxing well. He's keeping his concentration levels very high. He has to in this contest.
The clock ticking down. Bayat will continue winging away in the remaining seconds, but he's not going to find the big punch. Massey tying him up and watching the clock tick down, and he knows, I'm sure, that he has done enough to take a victory. But it was a hard night's work.
Yeah, it was a hard night's work indeed. A tough kid in front of him, dangerous. I thought Massey overall boxed very well indeed. Had to keep his wits about him right throughout the fight, had to concentrate and stay focused, which he did. Just occasionally drifted onto the ropes and got caught with a couple of big shots here and there. Bayat, it was a little bit too little too late for my liking. Very dangerous opponent indeed. He'll come again. But yeah, Jack Massey overall boxed well there.
That cut there, Kevin Marie working away on it, happened in the last round. Here's some of the action. There was a little clash of heads there. That might have, oh no, that was in the closing seconds. The damage had already been done then.
Massey just trying to keep Bayat at bay. There was a little knock there of the heads. Maybe.
Tough fight. And the referee's scorecard is being conveyed to Thomas Treiber, who's just making 100% sure with the British Boxing Board of Control Secretary Robert Smith that the scores all tally and that we know exactly who's won it. And I think they now have delivered the verdict to our Master of Ceremonies. The referee pulls the two fighters centre ring and we can find out who's won. Here's Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Victor Laughlin, scores this contest 79-74 for your winner, Jack Massey.
Bayat looked disappointed, but I really don't think he could have any complaints. Jack Massey winning comfortably, ultimately, by a 5-point margin, and that was actually quite a tough fight.